Hey everyone, Jeremy from the Snowboard Asylum, and in this video we're going to be looking at the 22-23 Sims ATV. Now the ATV has been a stalwart of the Sims collection for nearly 3 decades now. Aimed squarely at performance-focused riders who are looking for a ride anything all-terrain charger, it's the perfect choice for anyone that wants to hit up everything that the mountain can throw at them. Jam-packed with some of the most up-to-date design and technology available, this all-mountain icon opens up the whole mountain no matter the conditions or the terrain. Built around a long-nosed twin shape, which basically means that everything that's in contact with the snow is twin, but you've got a bit more length through the nose, the ATV delivers the optimum balance of freestyle feel with all-mountain performance. Or, to put it in layman's terms, it feels balanced underfoot for park laps, but it's going to float in the pow and blast through chop. However, that's not all it's going to do, because on piste the ATV is an absolute blast to ride as well. Its combination of traditional camber profile and Snakebite Edge tech, which adds additional traction zones to the sidecut, the toes and heels, delivers rock solid edge hold that just gives you the confidence to really let it go when you're charging around the resort. Now in terms of construction, the ATV is jam-packed with high-end materials, kind of what you'd expect for a board with this kind of performance. And heading this up is the lightweight Mod 3 core. This combines specially selected lightweight poplar with bamboo stringers to give a lively and poppy foundation to the board. This is then specially profiled at the tips to allow Sims to add their flexible thin tip material. This reduces weight at the tips without compromising strength. Now in terms of structural layers, these are formed from torsionally responsive 45-degree triax glass. This is reinforced with carbon stringers running either side of the insert pack from tip to tail, giving a powerful and dynamic flex, ensuring that no matter how hard you push the ATV, it's never going to feel undergunned. And finishing off that high-end build is the super fast ISO Sport Premium Racing Base. This high-quality sintered base material has great wax holding properties and is also super durable. But we can't talk about the ATV without mentioning the graphics though. Personally, this is my favourite snowboard graphic of all time. It's a recreation of the Sims logo taken from the 1991 Sims Blade, quite possibly the most iconic snowboard graphic ever. Penned by the great Tom Sims himself, this Sims logo personifies the formative years of the sport and is synonymous with some of the most legendary riders in our sport's history. And I did 2 full seasons back in 1991 and 92 on it. So let's have a look at the ATV in a little bit more detail. And I guess the obvious starting point has to be the shape. As I said in the intro, they class it as a long-nosed twin. And basically what the long-nosed twin is that if you run the board from the contact points, or the bit that actually touches the snow when you've got the board sideways on, it is actually a true twin. So the stance is centered in the middle of the side cut. The flex is centered from the side cut. It basically just rides flat like a freestyle board. It's really well balanced, just have loads of control to it. But you've got a little bit of extra length in the nose. Now, you might think that's going to affect the way the board feels when you're doing freestyle when you're lapping in the park, but it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because they've chopped any excess material away from the nose, so it's kind of got a blunt tip on it, so that's kind of getting rid of a little bit of weight. They also use their thin tip technology, and what they do on the thin tip technology, if you actually look how they mill the core, on a traditional board the core just thins out from the thicker zones to the thin zones. On this, it thins out and then it's actually milled out, so it's super thin on these little bits here, and then they insert another material in there. But that material is super light, but it's also super strong as well. So you're actually getting a really lightweight tip and tail, but you're not compromising the overall strength of the board. Now, in terms of width, the ATV is classed as what I would call a regular width. So the 155 comes in at 24.8 centimeters wide, the 158 comes in at 25.2, and the 161, which is the wide model in the range, comes in at 26.4. What you've also got on this as well, as I mentioned earlier, is the Snakebite Edges. And I'll kind of turn the board on its edge, and I'll do a little zoom in on this as well so you can see it. But if you kind of follow the arc of the side cut, you'll notice at these kind of areas here, you've got a little bump under both the toe and heel on the toe side and the heel side edge. Now what that bump does is, when the side cut is engaged, it's actually giving you an additional traction point under the toes and heels. So you get loads and loads of grip And on an icy snow, it just gives you a really confidence-inspiring ride. It feels like it's just biting through the turn and it's not going to let go. So no matter if it's really icy, you can still really charge on this board and feel confident that it's going to hold its edge through the turn. In terms of side cut, we'll kind of swing it back around here. I'd say it's like a mid-side cut. So basically the 155 comes in at 8 meters, the 158 8.1 meters, and the 161 at 8.2 meters. And what that mid kind of radius side cut is going to do is just make the board feel really controllable, both on long carvy turns and on like short windy turns. It's just like a really versatile side cut radius. It's kind of good for just everyday riding and everyday kind of conditions. Okay, so moving to the profile of it. Traditional camber. So where you've got the contact points here, the arc of the board runs through like that, as you can see here. And the big advantage of a traditional camber is, again, when the board is on its edge and you're compressing that camber down, that energy is moving along the full length of the side cut. So it's giving you a really good edge hold. And that's one of the reasons why a cambered board feels more secure on its edge at higher speed. Just because you've got power running all the way through that side cut. So it's going to grip and it's not going to let go. It's almost very difficult to overpower a cambered edge. So again, just kind of stability and confidence. Now, moving to the construction, headed up by the Mod 3 core. And what the Mod 3 core is primarily a poplar wood core. Poplar is a great wood for making a snowboard because it just has that perfect balance of strength, durability and weight. But what Sims do to that is add bamboo stringers that run pretty much under each insert section here. And our bamboo's a really, really powerful poppy wood. If you actually look at the figures of bamboo, it's really dense. So it's got loads and loads of power, but it's not overly heavy as well. So adding a bamboo stringer through the length just adds more snap and pop through the board's length. In terms of structural layers, uses 45-degree Tritex Triax glass. So that's basically running the weave at 45-degree angles across here and 0-degree angle across the middle. That stringer that runs down there is just going to give the board the strength through its length, but the X-bracing of the glass is just going to add torsional resistance to the flex. And again, that's just going to give the board a really responsive and powerful ride. Again, working in conjunction with that kind of bamboo in there just to make the board feel really solid on the edge and just to give you a really powerful ride. To that, they then add additional carbon stringers, and those carbon stringers run either side of the insert pack. And again, they pretty much work in perfect harmony with those bamboo stringers that are running through the length of the board. Again, just to give the board extra pop and power through its length. What else we got? Base material, yes. Isosport Premium Racing Base. So this is a high molecular weight sintered base material. So it's got great wax absorption. It's super fast if you look after it. And it's really tough and durable as well. So there you have it, the Sims ATV. If you're after a performance all-terrain board that looks this good, but also rides great as well, you really can't go wrong with this board.